We're going to start really fast.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to switch.
Good
Oh,
morning.
Good morning,
I think we're
everybody.
starting.
I believe we're starting. Suddenly our big mugs were on TV, and that startled us.
It kind of did, but
I
that's
startle
okay.
myself every morning.
Well, welcome to Trivia.
Welcome to Trivia, Aunt Joyce. We're so excited that you're here. I hope that there are plenty of people. We didn't even get to see how many Menti people had jumped in here.
Yeah, so what that means is that we're going to really have to take that 5 minutes getting started here to just chat so that people can see the Menti code up on the screen and they can get logged in and everything. Hey! See, you couldn't have done this yourself. You needed somebody.
I could have done that joke by myself.
Okay,
but I'm
you
glad
probably
Chelsea's
could
here.
have. See,
I'm so glad Chelsea's here.
so-
We've not done this before.
no, but you know
so
what?
excited.
I have to say, every time that you're co-hosting, I'm out there howling in the control room, so I'm pretty excited to be howling in here.
All right, I'm
Ow.
excited as well. We have a few announcements
Just
for
a
you.
few.
We do.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
The Board of Directors Town Hall that happened on Monday. So the rebroadcast for that is going to be at 7 p.m. this week. Starting next week, it's actually going to be at 6:30 p.m. Your Cubby Chronicle is correct. Look at your Cubby Chronicle. It will tell you the times that it's going to be rebroadcast. And it is also on My Ericsson, so you can click on it whenever you want to watch it. It went a little over an hour. That's why I moved it up to 6:30 next week as opposed to 7. Because when it was at 7, it was cutting into the 8 o'clock times.
Okay.
It's all a jigsaw puzzle that we put together in the TV studio, and we bring you the jigsaw as best we can.
What happens if the pieces don't fit?
Then it gets started later, and then we get complaints. Because
Oh,
if you tune in at 8
complain,
o'clock and you
people.
want to see something and it doesn't start until 8:15, that confuses people. So we try and make it as easy as possible.
Folks, this is Chelsea and Dave and your fellow residents, so complaining is not helpful.
No.
I'm just putting that out there as a PSA.
There you go.
There's another announcement. There is a resident town hall next week, a week from tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the PAC. It will also be broadcast on
977.
977, so you can watch from the comfort of your living room in your pajamas, or you can come down to the PAC in your pajamas if you'd like.
Could
You're
I
more than
could I
welcome to.
watch from the TV studio in my pajamas? Would that be frowned upon?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I'm sorry. That
Too
is
bad
the
it's not
only
Halloween.
stipulation.
Halloween, you can wear PJs and nobody looks at you funny because you just fit in with everybody else.
That is absolutely true.
And Halloween is past.
Oh,
I know.
what's coming?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Is
That's
it really?
the third announcement.
Why? Because you get to eat.
Yeah, because it's a lot of eating. It can look different every year. This year is going to be very small for me, and I'm very excited about that.
Oh.
It can be super large, and that can be
Yeah.
fun as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can have anything you want to eat.
Yeah.
Turkey is traditional, and I love it. But go for a Cornish game hen or some
Right,
ziti
right.
if you'd like.
When I was growing up, I had very fond memories of Thanksgiving at my aunt's house.
Oh, very
and we're
nice.
talking a huge table, and it was everybody from the extended family. And I remember that very fondly. And then after, we got older and everything, now it tends to be going out to an all-you-can-eat buffet.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite words.
But you know what else
All
is
you
really
can
cool
eat.
about having a 5-year-old at an all-you-can-eat buffet? They tend to also have like chicken fingers on the buffet at Thanksgiving, which is really helpful for a 5-year-old. But I will say one thing, my 5-year-old is a carnivore. She will eat all kinds of meat at all times. It's crazy. She needs her
Chicken
protein.
fingers, for your information, folks, are helpful on the menu for 56-year-old men as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, it works, right? It's Thanksgiving. You can
Yes.
eat anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want.
How are we doing with
That's
our
what I love.
time, guys? Do we get to 5 minutes yet? Do you
We
think
are-
that we have enough people logged in?
We are elongating. This is the TV
Oh,
for
wait,
elongate.
we still have one more thing that we need to talk about. So
Oh, yeah.
today
Yeah.
was going to be Veterans Day trivia.
Yep.
And ultimately my goal was to have 2 veterans co-hosting this.
Yep.
And we have one quasi-veteran, you called yourself?
I was in the Naval Reserve for 6 years. Yeah, I was actually attached for a while to Naval Air Station Willow Grove.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So
I knew a guy once who was in something, the kids, what is that called? ROTC?
yeah, the
ROTC.
college military.
And yeah,
Yep,
he
yep.
went there for like drill and stuff.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pipeline to the military as well.
Yeah,
So
it was very interesting.
yeah, I don't know that I would honestly call myself a veteran, but we're going to go with it for the purposes of
All
this show.
All right.
We're getting a thumbs up from the control room.
Right. Well, I
We're
just
ready
need to
to go?
share. We were supposed to have Shane here, so now we can give a thumbs down to Shane because he's stood us up today. But you know what, Jeff? I couldn't leave you hanging by yourself. So
Chelsea, I'm so glad you're here.
I am not a veteran, but we're going to rock it anyway. So let's go. You want to be odd or even today?
I'm going to be odd as
Okay.
always.
All right,
Look,
sounds
and we're
good.
jumping right into question one. It does
All
not look like
right.
a big field. 11 players are ready, but that increases your odds of winning.
Agreed.
I like the banana. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
12. There you go. Robot coming
I'm
in.
ready to go.
Yep. Feel
Look
free
at-
to
I like
log
the
in at any
undercover
time.
spy as well. I wonder who undercover spy
Probably going to be
is.
agent number 9, I'm going to imagine.
All right,
Yeah.
we got some thumbs up. All right, 12 players are ready. Question one, answer fast as always. You guys have been here before. When did the armistice between Allied nations and Germany go into effect? Holy moly. Really, Chelsea? Out of the
Yes.
blue?
I'm sorry.
1842, 1875, 1907, or 1918?
So believe it or not, this is actually a relatively easy question, even though on the surface, see, the residents knew
1918,
because the
yes.
armistice, and they know this, was World War I. So if you think about that,
No, Chelsea, look, there's
You
nothing
thought that
wrong
was
with the
tough.
question. You hit us out of the gate
Yep.
with the notion that
Bang.
this is going to contain no humor at all today, folks. So
no, I
if you're
didn't say
looking
no
for
humor. I said little humor.
All right, if
It's a
you're-
little bit of a difference.
all right, there should be some somber music playing in the
we're-
background.
There might be. We can't hear it in the studio. You
There-
never
there
know what
may
they're
be.
doing on the
I
TriCaster
do want to
out
say
there.
that Veterans Day is a very serious day. We
It is.
appreciate all our veterans. We do not want to confuse it with Memorial Day, which is to remember our veterans who have passed
Yes.
in the line of duty.
Yes.
But serving this country in the military is not a joke. And so even if we are light here today,
Yes.
I want to remind you that we do not take Veterans Day lightly, and we
Very
are
true.
grateful for all our veterans.
And also, I want to just make a quick plug for the tribute to veterans that's currently airing. We aired it, or we will air it because Veterans Day is Saturday. We're airing it 6 times on Saturday.
Oh, that's
Airing
awesome.
times are on the back of the Cubby Chronicle. It's about an hour and a half long. It was put together by Bud Williams and John Hodges of the Protestant Fellowship Council.
That's
There's
awesome.
readings that represent each of the different American wars. There is organ music and piano music to go along with it. It's a really, really beautiful tribute, and we're going to be re-airing it next week as well on our schedule. So definitely something to check out because they worked really hard to put that together, and it's really a beautiful piece.
That's amazing.
Okay,
Look for that, folks.
back on track. Oh,
Here we go. Look
There
at
you
this.
go.
World War over. Armistice signed.
there you
That's
go.
beautiful. The Cincinnati Enquirer. Great
Yes.
picture.
Question number 2. All right, which president changed it from Armistice Day to Veterans Day?
Oh, I actually know this.
Calvin Coolidge, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Franklin Roosevelt, or Gerald Ford? Again, this one should be pretty easy. Our residents really know their American history.
They do.
They're very passionate, and that's an amazing thing.
Everyone has voted.
Ta-da!
Dun-da-da.
See?
Dwight D. Eisenhower,
Yeah.
World War II veteran. That is awesome.
Yes.
Eisenhower, a long-serving veteran himself. Question 3 of 23. 12 players ready. You know the drill about answering fast. From 1971 to 1975, Veterans Day was celebrated on this day when Congress passed the Uniform Holidays Act. Was it the first Friday of September, the second Tuesday of November, the third Wednesday of December, or the fourth Monday in October? That's a variety of answers,
It is a
Chels.
variety of answers.
When was Veterans Day celebrated for those 4 years? Remember, those 4 years, people. Oh,
Wow.
everybody, I tried to help you there.
Yeah.
The fourth Monday in October, that was a bit of a trick question. You had to realize that there was an exception to when we celebrated Veterans Day.
But you know what else is interesting too? The fourth Monday of October, it could have been actually on the same day as Halloween, depending on how the month laid out, right?
That's well said.
Kind of depends.
Veterans Halloween Day.
Yep.
Many veterans were confused about the change and wanted to celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th, since it
Yeah.
was a matter of historic and patriotic significance.
Yes.
The people have spoken.
Yes, they did.
I
And
like
that's
it.
why it only lasted 4 years.
About 3.5 years
Oh
too
boy,
long.
leaderboard. I
Oh,
told you,
look at
agent
Elaine.
number 9. I
Look
knew.
at Elaine. What in tarnation,
You know
Elaine?
what, Elaine? You just are
You're
unstoppable.
killing it. I see you, Mr. Worms. I
Yep,
see Agent
there he is.
X9.
Betty Melvin's on there.
Watson.
Nick W.
Zlatan.
Zlatan. Zlatan.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
All right, question number 4. This holiday is celebrated on June 12th and is celebrated by some states. It is not a nationally recognized holiday. Is it Wounded Veterans Day, Black Veterans Day, Women Veterans Day, or Gay Veterans Day? Do you know the answer to this one?
June 12th. I actually am unsure of the
Really?
answer to this one, but I'm going to have to say that it should, whatever it should be a nationally recognized holiday.
Yeah, agreed.
And the
Yeah,
answer is
women.
Women's Veterans Day. It absolutely should be.
Yes.
The women's veterans history in this nation is amazing.
It is.
Dating all the way back to the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. And you know what? Even when they weren't on the front lines, they were still involved, you know.
Still involved.
Yeah. Women's Veterans Day is held on June 12th, marking the anniversary of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, which President Harry S. Truman signed into law on June 12, 1948. Some states observe Women's Veterans Day, but it is not yet a nationally recognized holiday.
It should be.
It should. Yep.
Question 5 of 23. Answer fast to get more points. On July 16, 1983, President Reagan held a one-time commemoration for veterans involved in what capacity? Vietnam, the Civil War, the Bay of Pigs, or atomic warfare?
Do you know the answer to this one?
I don't.
No?
Held a one-time commemoration
One
for
time.
veterans involved in what capacity? Everyone has voted.
Wow.
You're
Is it
guessing.
that easy?
and
Wow,
the
I
answer is
Chelsea'd them.
Atomic warfare.
I Chelsea'd them, Jeff.
Wow.
Nobody got that? Wow,
How
I
do
didn't
you
think that would be that
designate
difficult.
veterans involved in atomic warfare.
So click to the next slide, please, and we shall see.
Oh,
Ta-da.
President Ronald Reagan designated July 16th, 1983, a one-time commemoration known as National Atomic Veterans Day. It honored atomic veterans or American military service members who participated in nuclear tests between 1945 and 1962, served with United States military forces in or around Hiroshima or Nagasaki through mid-1946, or were held as prisoners of war in or near Hiroshima or Nagasaki, according to the White House. That is
My
remarkable.
hat to you. You barely stumbled on any of that, and
I
I would
don't know. That was a
That
little
was a
rough,
lot.
but
It was a lot,
That
yeah.
is remarkable.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's very cool.
What you find when you start Googling, I tell you.
Go Google.
Question number 6. All right, March 13th is a special day to honor another kind of special veteran. I did not make, what kind? Hispanic, Black, canine, or women?
Well, we've already honored the winner.
We've
women
already
veterans.
honored the women.
Hint, hint.
Uh-huh.
Nobody choose women. Another recognition that should be a national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the pups? Is it the Hispanic folk?
It's the
Is
pups.
it the pups? It's the pups, the
It's
canine.
the canines.
March 13th.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you. That's beautiful. Don't know
Yeah.
that it needs to be a national holiday.
I tend to disagree.
A recognized holiday. Look how cute that
So
dog
here's
is.
the thing about canines, and I've been to a lot of things because
Here we go.
my daughter happens to be obsessed with canines at this
Okay.
point. And so I've been to a lot of Warminster Canine Unit events and different things for the search and rescue, which are two different organizations and two different functions. And I have to say, canines are remarkable, and what their owners go through to train them and to maintain them is really, really amazing.
I have a story of my own.
Oh,
I used to be a volunteer for what was known as the Puppies Behind Bars program.
that's awesome.
And they trained dogs, primarily labs, for the military and police, the good standing prisoners in
Wow.
a series of prisons in New Jersey and mostly in New York. And my volunteer capacity, like others, was you would go and you would sign the dogs out for a weekend so that they could get social interaction and learn their commands in a social environment, because they're designed not to react to people and to crowds and to hubbub of crowds. So you had to train them by bringing them like to the mall and to other places.
Yeah.
And I love that. I did that with my kids for a few years.
That is such an awesome program all around.
It is an awesome program.
I'm also at the state because Natalie, my 5-year-old, realizes that dog canine officers are supposed to catch the bad people and take them to jail where they're
Yeah.
going to stay in jail forever. And I'm trying to explain to her, no, we give people second chances. And, you know, like there's rehab involved in jail. And that program, it sounds like that's very much right
very
on
much
track of what I'm trying to explain to her.
very
that
much so.
when you go to jail, you don't always get locked up forever, and that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ooh,
we've
some heavy,
veered,
some
right?
very heavy
We've
parenting
way off track.
stuff going on here on
I know,
Veterans
sorry
Day
about
Trivia.
that. Okay, next one.
Here we go.
Back on track.
Another leaderboard.
Oh boy, Sailor Man.
Oh, look at Hale and Agent X9.
Uh-huh.
Sailor Man. And
Oh,
Nick W.
all
takes
right.
the lead. Oh, Elaine.
Game
You're still
on.
in it, Elaine. Don't
Game
panic,
on.
whatever you do. Question 7. Answer fast. The Pentagon serves as the headquarters for which military services in the Department of Defense? Is it the Army only, the Navy only, the Army, Navy, and Air Force, the Army and Air Force?
Do you know? Ooh, he's thinking.
I do know.
Okay. Fun
I do know.
Okay.
I feel confident.
Okay.
I think. Maybe.
So do the residents.
The Army, Navy, and Air Force.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess that one because, oh, there's the Pentagon. That's
Isn't
a
that
nice
cool?
small building.
Modest.
And by the way, when you look at the Pentagon and you see the size of it and all of those corridors and the inner corridors and the inner corridors, do not forget that there are many layers below the Pentagon.
There's not as many as you'd think.
There's at least 100.
I don't think there's that
No,
many.
there's not 100.
No, I don't think that there's that
There's a
many.
few.
A few, but not skyscraper-ish.
Not skyscrapers. It's not a silo.
Have you been to the Pentagon?
I've not.
No.
I've not.
Really?
You've been to the Pentagon?
I have.
You could take a tour to the Pentagon?
No.
Oh. Did you just stand outside?
Yes. So, fun story. So, Keith and I went to Washington, D.C. a few years back, and we wanted to see the 9/11 memorial because they have one on the Pentagon grounds from 9/11 when the
Okay.
plane hit. It's not on the same side of the Pentagon, it's on the other side. So, we went and we pulled up and we realized very quickly that there was a guy with a machine gun talking to us, and we were like, we know we're not in the right spot. Can you help us? This is what we want to do. And they said, no problem, you have to park all the way across at the mall and then walk in the underground tunnel with all of the rest of the service people to get onto the Pentagon grounds, and then you just walk through the gate over there, and it's like, it's belted off from the Pentagon, it's right there, but yeah, and I remember it was very peaceful at the, because there's like river and water running underneath, like benches, and each bench represents a different person at the Pentagon that was killed in the 9/11 attack. And it was very peaceful, but I remember looking at Keith at one point and going, I wonder how many machine guns are pointed at us right now, because I'm sure that what?
There were 0 machine guns pointed at
I
you.
don't know, man. I could have done
It
some
was
crazy.
walled off.
I
Were you
look
gonna make it-
crazy.
were you gonna ma-
You never know what this crazy person's gonna do.
That is the truest thing Chelsea has said today.
Ooh, ouch.
She started it. She started it.
All
right,
right,
let's move on.
Back
folks.
on. Okay.
Here we go. Question 8.
See,
is
you
here.
couldn't have done this fun without
This
anybody
is-
else.
This is you.
You know? All right, this branch of government celebrates their birthday the day before Veterans Day. Marine Corps, Space Force, Army, or Navy?
These are good questions, Chelsea.
Why, thank you. I think this is my 3rd time doing Veterans Day trivia, so I have to get a little bit more creative,
You've done that.
you know? There
And
you go,
it's the
Marine,
Marine
Corps.
Corps. The Marine Corps, and I don't mean offense to all of you Marine veterans out there, is a subsidiary of the Navy. I'm
Okay,
just putting that out there because I'm a Navy guy.
okay.
So I
All
just
right.
thought I'd just put that out to all those jarheads out there. All right, there they are,
Yep,
standing tall. I have
yep.
a great deal of respect for the Marine Corps. Question 9, you know it's going to say answer fast. Here we go. The New York City Veterans Day Parade happens along this street in New York City. Is it Java Street, Westchester Avenue, 5th Avenue, or West 59th Street? West 59th Street.
That's a real thing.
I know it's a real thing. I'm going to be surprised if it's West 59th Street. That's a short stretch of land.
There you go.
There you are, 5th Avenue. West 59th is like
I was literally looking at a
blocks.
map and I was looking around
Yeah.
that area to get, because I don't know New York all that well.
Yep, there it
But,
is.
Yep, carrying the flag.
That is outstanding.
All right, question number 10. The U.S. Army went from 16,000 troops to 1 million troops at this major national event. 9/11, birth of the nation, World War I, or Civil War? He inhales and exhales deeply.
I have this answer.
Okay.
The
Civil.
Civil War. Interesting fact that is common sense, but not a lot of people think about it. More Americans died in the Civil War than in any other wars, all the other wars we fought combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, we were all Americans.
We
at
killed
that
each
point.
other. Yeah, at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Yeah.
Sad but true.
Very.
There they are. That's an actual photograph Chelsea took
No, it's not.
of a Civil War battle.
Oh, I got Dave laughing on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, you got Dave laughing.
If you look in the background, you can see Keith
Oh,
as a little cameo.
Oh, really?
Dressed up. You know, he's
Uh-huh.
in the lower
and
right.
he's making a very
He's in the
straight
lower
face
right.
of no
Yep.
smile and very serious.
Yep, yep.
Uh-huh.
Chelsea, I don't know how
Yep.
you got everybody to pose like that, including that guy to just hold that pose of falling over.
Exactly. That's
He's at a
like
44
defying
degree-
gravity right
44
there.
degree angle.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Leaderboard.
I do what I can.
Sailor Man, look at all the points Sailor Man took off. This is going to be a good one.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly who Sailor Man is.
I have an idea too, because he's
Mm-hmm.
fastest.
Yep.
63.79.
Yep. Yep.
Elaine, I promise you're still in it. Keep going.
Yep.
Question 11. This cemetery is the final resting place for over 400,000 men and women and has about 25 burials a day. Is it Philadelphia National Cemetery, Long Island National Cemetery, Arlington National Cemetery, Washington Crossing National Cemetery? I know this one.
Right,
Yes,
right.
there you are. Arlington
So
National
went to
Cemetery.
Arlington when I was there with
Yep.
the Pentagon and all of that.
Yeah.
It was extremely hot.
Yeah,
And we were just booking it up the hill trying to find, because we didn't have a whole lot of time.
yeah.
So we were like power walking and like dripping sweat, just trying to find like the presidents and the Tomb of the Unknown and all of that. Like
How many
just-
machine guns do you suppose were pointed at you at that time?
I don't know if there's a whole lot of grave robberies going on in Arlington National Cemetery. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
There it is.
Yeah.
Did you watch the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier?
Probably, and I remember them yelling at everybody because they were all talking when they shouldn't have been. Sometimes we just don't know
People.
etiquette, and
I'm
we
just
just don't
praying you to
understand
travel
respect
wisely.
sometimes.
Travel wisely.
Right.
That's all I have to say. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful picture.
Yeah.
This is you.
Okay. Number 12. All right. Which part of the U.S. government is the U.S. Coast Guard?
Go Coast Guard.
Woo!
Go Bears.
Defense, Air Force, Homeland Security, Veterans Affairs.
I know this. I know this quite well because my girlfriend has a daughter in the Coast Guard Academy and one
Really?
who just graduated and is stationed in Miami.
Oh my goodness.
So I know this answer well.
Wow.
And it is indeed the Department of
you
Homeland
go.
Security.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. There they are. Go Coast Guard. Question 13. Who was Deborah Sampson? My English teacher from 3rd grade.
I was going to say,
Nope,
you
just
look
kidding.
perplexed.
First female to receive the Medal of Honor, first female enlisted in the Army, first female general, a code name during World War II. Ooh, I'm really hoping for the last one. I don't know this answer, but that would be
I
exciting.
don't know if, I think if the residents might know.
Who was Deborah Sampson?
So you don't know the answer to this.
I don't. I'm hoping for a code name. Nope. It's the first female enlisted in the Army.
There's a really cool infograph after this too.
All right. In 1781, Deborah Sampson enlisted in the Army with a fake male identity. She went undetected until she sustained multiple injuries at battle and her identity was obviously discovered. She was the only woman to earn a full military pension for participation in the Revolutionary Army. That's amazing.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Question 14. Cruising right along. Who is the only U.S. president to receive the Medal of Honor?
I know this.
Oh boy. Dwight Eisenhower, Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington, or Andrew Jackson?
I know this.
chilly in here. A little,
A little chilly.
just a little.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Whoa, we almost Chelsea'd him again.
Yep, you would think it would be George Washington, but the Medal of Honor was not established then.
Yes.
Yeah, Dwight Eisenhower is a good guess.
Mm-hmm.
Theodore Roosevelt would have been my last guess. Commander-in-Chief, Colonel in the U.S. Army, received the Medal of Honor for his valiant assault at San Juan Hill. His energetic vision helped bring the nation into a new century. America owes nearly 200 million acres of national forest and parkland to his foresight. Theodore Roosevelt.
Yep.
Yep. Speak softly, carry a big stick.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Look at Nick.
Ooh, Nick was the only one to get that one right.
Nick.
He's doing a dance in his apartment right now.
And a jump up to second
Nice.
place. You are not far behind Sailor Man.
Peter, hang on.
Hang on,
Hang on, Peter.
Question 15. The Air Force built their F-117 fighter by studying the flight of this animal. Owls, hummingbirds, bumblebees, or pigeons. I know this. This one I know.
It's pigeons, isn't it?
I cannot say not everybody has voted.
No, I know that.
Eight
It's not
Owls,
pigeons.
hummingbirds, bumblebees, or pigeons. Do
It'd
you have
be
a little
awesome
clip
if it
after
was.
this?
No,
What?
I don't think so. I think I just have a
And
picture.
the answer is bumblebees.
Yeah.
No clip after this?
I
It
think
is
I have a picture.
cool-
If I remember correctly.
There it is.
Look at that guy.
That is a cool aircraft.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the flight of the bumblebee.
Pretty
You
much.
can almost hear the music.
Question 16. We're getting there, folks. If you call members of the U.S. Army soldiers, what do you call members of Space Force? Guardians, Galaxers, Enforcers, or aliens? Do you know this one? He's thinking really hard.
Don't, actually.
Really? I thought this was an easy one because as soon as I started Googling it, it came up everywhere. There you go. Guardians.
Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
They're not soldiers?
No, they're guardians.
I wonder what the population of the United States Space Force is.
I don't think I asked that question.
Question 17. This celebrity has said, I was a combat engineer. Isn't that ridiculous? The two things I hate most in the world are combat and engineering. Was it Chuck Norris, James Earl Jones, Mel Brooks, or Oliver Stone?
Do you know this?
I have no idea. I was a combat engineer. I have a good guess. Is it Mel Brooks? Yeah, it is. I love Mel Brooks.
Nobody went with Oliver Stone.
No, for
But an
good
equal in that went
reasons.
with Chuck Norris, which is pretty fun.
There's Mel Brooks, the comedy legend, served in World War II as a combat engineer, defusing landmines as a corporal in the 1104 Engineer Combat Division. I was a combat engineer. Isn't that ridiculous? We just talked. War is in hell. War is loud, much too noisy. All those shells and bombs going off all around you. Never mind death. A man could lose his hearing. Look at Mel Brooks in his Jeep. Leaderboard.
Ooh.
This is going to be a tough one.
What's happening to Elaine? Sailor
All
Man.
right, Elaine, you're holding steady in the middle, but you still have a
Yeah.
shot. Mr. Worms, you're holding on at the end.
Yep.
Shelley, Nick W. It's going to be come down to the wire.
Question 18. This country has the most overseas U.S. Army bases. There's 120 in this country alone. China, Japan, Canada, or Germany?
I know the answer to this.
Oh.
I had to think about it.
You
for
have a
moment.
very interesting face after I ask some of these questions. You just kind of look blank for a few moments and then
Going for the recall. And the answer is,
Japan.
you would have thought Germany,
I
right?
know, it's Japan.
Yeah, for very good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all those
Yeah.
bases.
There's a lot in Japan.
Wow, that's a cool map.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot.
There's a lot going on that map.
There is a lot going on in that map.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Question 19. year 1776 was the first time U.S. military attempted to use a submarine in warfare. Name the sub that tried to attach a bomb to a British ship. Was it the Turtle, the Thresher, the Nautilus, or the Scorpion? I know this answer.
This should be hopefully a pretty easy one, and considering that everybody's guessing pretty quickly.
And the answer is
The Turtle.
the Turtle. Only 5 people got that. It was pretty varied. Oh, thank goodness
Yeah,
you
buddy.
have that. I have seen that.
Oh,
I have seen that sub. I think it's the replica.
yes, it is.
Now I'm trying to remember
See at the
where
bottom
I've
it says
seen
photo
it.
is replica.
Yeah,
I
I've
think if you
seen-
keep reading it,
Oh.
it might tell you.
Wait,
Maybe.
American, I'm not going to
Oh,
read all this for you
no.
folks.
Oh.
Several attempts to fix explosive, they all failed. Her transport ship was sunk. You know where that is, that replica? I know where it is.
Where?
It's in Groton, Connecticut, at the naval base, where Groton, Connecticut is the submarine naval headquarters.
Oh.
And in Groton, the greater Groton area is where they assemble all the subs for the U.S. Navy. There is a sub museum, and you can tour the USS Nautilus submarine. And I believe that's where I saw that original
No,
replica
it's a
of that sub.
replica. It's not an original.
That replica,
That replica
of the original
Yeah.
submarine.
There you go.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
believe that's where
I
I saw
gotcha.
that picture.
All right, that's fun. Do they serve potatoes in Groton? Shh. No? Sorry. I had to. Is this mine or yours?
This is you.
This branch of government has NORAD, who has tracked Santa every Christmas Eve since 1955. Navy, Army, Coast Guard, Air Force.
Well, it's hard to say, although I know the answer, because Santa flies over all of
There you
those.
go.
All 12 people got the Air Force. We fly over the seas, we fly over the land,
Yes.
but he's in the air, so let's track him out of NORAD.
Yeah.
NORAD. There it is. NORAD tracks Santa. Santa doesn't look like that.
No,
That looks very fake.
it does look very fake, but it was the best picture that I could find.
Good enough.
So, you know,
It's well done.
yeah.
Oh, Shelley.
Wow.
Oh, look at all
It's
these
because everybody
points.
got that question
Is
right.
there going to
That's
be
why.
a shift?
Ooh,
Here's a
Sailor
shift.
Man hanging on.
There literally was no shift.
No,
Like, not a single person moved.
no. Everybody's pretty well locked in.
I don't
but
know that
there's
I've ever seen, like,
still
nobody
time.
move.
Well, everybody got that question right.
Yeah,
So nobody would have moved if everybody got that question wrong, too.
I get you.
Yeah.
I
Because it's
see
only
how that
one
works.
question
I
that
see
it's,
how that
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Question
Okay.
21.
This is you.
Answer fast to get even more points. How many Air Force One planes are there? That's short and to the point.
Pretty much.
Is there 1, 2, 10, or undetermined? How many Air Force One? This doesn't count Air Force Two.
Nope.
Doesn't count Marine 1, 2, or 3.
Nope.
How many Air Force One planes are there? 1, 2, 10, undetermined. The
Good.
answer is undetermined.
You guys are so smart. Wait for this info.
I'm excited for this info.
This is really cool.
Air Force One isn't a plane, but a radio call name for any Air Force plane carrying the President of the United States.
Yep.
Therefore, whatever plane the President is on is considered Air Force One on the radio at that time.
Yep.
So if the President of the United States, well, question 22. Never mind.
Are you sure?
You get it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that
Question
important.
20. Oh.
Oh, we're back.
He went back so that you could continue.
Thank you, Dave. I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Dave's got our back.
So next week I'm flying to Boston
Oh.
to help.
Flying?
Yeah, I'm flying to Boston to help out Brooksby and Erickson community.
You know what? We were a stone throw away from Brooksby, and we had no idea when we went up to Boston. And it was funny because we were on the freeway coming home, and all of a sudden I saw something very familiar on the freeway, and it was a Brooksby vehicle, but because all of the logos look the same, I was like, Brooksby. And I looked up, it was in Peabody. And we were in Danvers, which is right
Yeah, right
there.
How many machine
sorry.
guns do you think were pointed at you at the time?
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
I was simply going to say that when I fly to Brooksby next Monday morning, if the president in economy is sitting next to me,
Oh boy.
that is technically Air Force One.
Somehow, I think that's a pretty far-reaching.
Technically, I could be on Air Force One. if President Biden sits next to me in economy.
Let me go make a phone call to President Biden and see if
Please
maybe
do.
I can work this out for you.
Please do.
'cause, Yeah.
That would be very exciting. President Biden, I'm speaking to you.
Oh, he was
I'm
here,
saving-
you know.
I'm
Do you know that
saving
he
the
was
seat
here?
next to you.
This isn't a joke. Did you know that he was at Ann's Choice?
When?
It was before my time in the TV studio, which is 5 years. It was 6, 7 years ago, something like that. Dave is giving me a thumbs
As
up.
the vice president?
No, he came to the PAC, and it was an unrelated Ann's Choice event. He was making an announcement for his son's foundation or something like that. We actually have it on video. We actually have it still in archives. We could just pull that right out. That, I mean, he wasn't the president at the time, but I remember Mary Borgman was extremely excited to shake his hand. There's a picture of Joe Biden shaking another employee's hand, and Mary's in the background, and literally she's like, in the background of the picture. It's hysterical.
Folks, I recognize that you tuned in for Veterans Day trivia.
And now we're talking
And I
about,
recognize that we are 100 miles from there.
sorry.
No,
We're
it's
on
not
Mary
your fault.
Borgman.
It's not your fault. Here we go.
Last couple
Veterans
questions.
Day trivia.
Okay,
We're in the home stretch.
back on track.
We're back.
All right, question number
Allegedly.
22. This president signed the bill creating the Medal of Honor. The first one was awarded in 1862.
Remember, the aforementioned George Washington
Agreed.
could not have won.
But
won
will you look
Medal
at
of
the
Honor?
options? Because he's not an option.
In 1862, before the Civil War,
Yep,
folks.
James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses
There's a
S.
few people
Grant,
there
or
to-
Grover Cleveland.
There's a few people there to take off the list.
Mm-hmm.
I have a James Buchanan story too.
Oh boy.
And the answer is
Abraham Lincoln.
Yep. So James Buchanan, we're going to just talk about Lincoln. There it is. Created the U.S. Army Medal
I mean,
of
are we
Honor.
doing okay on time? Can Jeff share?
No, it's not that
Are we close
important.
to?
I shared it during President's
I'm getting a
Trivia.
thumbs up from the control room. They say
Really?
go for it.
All right, so James Buchanan, arguably, and it's not a hard argument, the worst president in history. His homestead, as you can tour all of the president's homesteads, or most of the presidents rather, similar to like Mount Vernon or Monticello, James Buchanan's homestead is called Wheatland, and it is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Nice, and nobody knows about it.
Well, as the worst
Except for you.
president, my girlfriend Leanne and I, he knows about it. There's somebody out there
Oh,
who knows about it.
it's John Hodges.
John.
So speaking of what we were talking about, he's the one of the two people that were the brains behind the tribute to veterans that we are going to be broadcasting on
Oh,
Veterans Day. So
fabulous.
very proud veteran over there. Yep. Okay,
Thank
continue.
you for your service.
I
sir.
interrupted again.
It's fine. I'm just going to say that on President's Day a couple years ago, our decision was to tour the house of the worst president.
Nice.
And indeed we did. And we learned a lot, including why he was the worst president.
Why?
Well, he plunged us into the Civil War. He refused
I thought you were going to say he
act.
plunged a toilet. I was
It's
really
a
thinking that's where
long
you were going with the
historical
plunge.
thing, and I know that Mr. Blackburn is out there going, go for it, Jeff, but I'm going to give you just a one sentence. He refused to weigh in on a federal level as Kansas was becoming a state, and the ensuing vote where people went to Kansas just to vote who weren't from Kansas ended up making Kansas a slavery state, and there was a lot of national implications for that plunged us into the Civil War, among other things.
The more
he
you
was
know,
talking
and a star goes across the screen.
about. Yeah. All right. Again,
Last
Veterans
question.
Day trivia.
Last question.
23.
Last one.
Here we go. Actor Clint Eastwood served in the U.S. Army during this conflict: Korean War, Vietnam War, Desert Storm, or World War II? Yeah, I know this answer.
I
Chelsea's
just stopped
looking
and
at
looked
me.
at him. I just wanted to see what his face would
Korean
do.
War, Vietnam War, Desert Storm, or World War II? Everyone has voted, and the answer is yes, of course, the Korean War. Thank you for your service, Mr.
Yes.
Eastwood. There he is. The old Dirty Harry days. We thank you for your
Yes.
service. We need a final leaderboard before we say a hearty thank you
Yes,
to
we
all of
do.
the veterans who are watching, all of the veterans of Ann's Choice, all of the veterans of this nation. Let's get a final leaderboard, though, on the tribute to them. Oh, boy. Oh, look at Nick. Uh-oh.
No, they're not going to catch him. Nope.
Oh, no, they're not
Nope.
going to catch him.
Sailor's got it.
Sailor Man,
All
well done.
right.
Shelley, Agent X9, Nick W., well done. A great, great, great
Yes.
trivia.
Yep, give
Chelsea,
Beth a call.
It was a lot of hard work putting that together. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Sailorman, your new Chrysler Cordoba is going to be delivered soon. It's true.
How'd you come up with that?
Chrysler, it's a long story. It's a long story. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so grateful to bring you not only trivia, but to bring you veterans trivia. And as I said, we are just so humbled and grateful for everybody who has served in the U.S. Armed Forces,
Yes.
in the periphery of the U.S. Armed Forces, during the many conflicts during the history of this nation. We are so, so grateful for you and your service.
Yes.
And I appreciate just being able to bring you a little bit of fun trivia to celebrate this occasion.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah,
Couldn't have said it better.
thank you.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to serve in the military. That sacrifice that was made, I'm spoiled
Yeah,
because I've never had to live at a time where it was really a necessity, and very, very grateful.
Yep.
Because we would not be here without service members.
we are indeed grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you for filling in, Chelsea.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you, Ann's Choice, for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.